to your higher self. Now, please, can I please speak directly to your higher self?
Yes.
I'm really curious about the origins of Buddhism. I'm basically wondering about the extraterrestrials. I believe they were Pleiadians that came to the Himalayas area and started what is known as Shambhala, and then eventually it trickled into Buddhism. Can you tell me about the origins that come to you about Buddhism? What comes to you?
Okay, see. So I see the community in the Himalayas. Actually, they're even still there now from the original lineage. Let me see the source. I get that they were from Andromeda.
Hey, tell me everything you can about them.
I see these beings connected to Andromeda. It's a star system. They're bird-like. I can see that they look bird-like to me. Bird-like hybrid beings.
You describe them. They're bird-like, but and they're hybrid, did they look human in any way or just like a bird?
Yeah, they have a humanoid stature with bird-like features. Some are more bird-like than others. I almost see immediately in my mind's eye an ostrich for some odd reason.
Okay.
But I see that kind of face, like an ostrich type face. But I do see two legs standing upright. They're big. They're tall. I see that they're tall beings.
Do they have any colors to them in any way or no?
Let me see. Okay, this is the interesting thing is that when I tune into the color, what I'm seeing about these Andromedans, these bird-like Andromedans, is that they have a rainbow frequency. It's like they have a rainbow aura. I do see that not all of them do. I see like a white light more than anything else around them. But for some reason, I'm seeing or I'm hearing that they're rainbow. The Andromedans that went to Earth came here to help us with our ascension. And they were the ones who started Buddhism and the Shambhala frequency. They are the source of the Shambhala frequency here on Earth.
Can you tell me about this frequency? What is it exactly, the Shambhala frequency?
Okay, let me see. Because I'm seeing that it's distinct from the Pleiadians. Because the Pleiadians did source a lot of the frequency that is leading to our ascension. But this rainbow frequency is distinct. And let me just tune in for a second. Okay, for some reason, right away when I try to tune in to that rainbow frequency, I get that the deeper source is Lyra. And Lyra was the one who created humanoid type beings that would then hold this special DNA. And it's connected to this rainbow frequency. And this special DNA is connected to the ascension pathway, which is like a pathway of consciousness to travel along. It's the frequency that they place on Earth-based planets, because all Earth-based planets eventually pass through ascension. And that's why we choose Earth when we are at a certain stage in our soul's progression, where we are ready to go through the process of forgetting in order to leap to the final remembering.
Can you tell me about the stage of a soul's progression? Like, where does the soul start? And like, what I guess I'm curious about is, does a soul maybe go to the Pleiades and then they want to go to Earth? Because, okay, so like when the Pleiades are watching humans, are the humans actually more advanced Pleiadians? Like, what is the progression of a soul?
So there are stages, and I am seeing that you're right. Pleiades is prior. You would go there before Earth. You could not go to Earth. It's like you need to go to the Pleiades. You would need to go to the Pleiades, but I see the progression is like, okay, so I see that the Pleiades is a necessary stop to go before Earth, because you have to, the Pleiades is linked to the heart. I see that the Pleiades is linked to the understanding of love, and like an infinite kind of love, like a unity kind of love. And I see that Jesus, Yeshua, is actually more Pleiadian than anything else. Or I see that he's very connected. Him and Mary are very connected to the Pleiades. And I actually see that the Pleiades gives you a frequency that you need before you can pass through duality. And the Pleiades gives you a kind of soul wisdom.
Everyone go through Pleiades? Because what about these star seeds that seem to just come from a certain place? Is that not really true? Do they all actually go through all these levels?
You know what I'm seeing? That the souls who want ascension when they go to Earth for that lifetime, the souls who are ready for ascension and unity, like to remember unity consciousness, they have to pass through the Pleiades. But not all souls pass through the Pleiades, because not all souls that come to Earth are here for the ascension necessarily. Some are volunteers, and some are actually here, to help the simulation of Earth.
How do they help the simulation of Earth?
Okay, so Earth has a very special simulation. And to be here, you have to be very evolved, actually, because to be in a duality program, you would have to understand levels of love in God so that the duality program could not break you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You have to have evolved enough so that duality could not permanently send you into a lower frequency. So actually, you need to build your understanding of God, and you have to have a very strong connection, actually, to a powerful category of angels. And I see that the angels almost help to create the simulation. I'm just getting like the Nephilim angels are very much involved with creating the duality program and the Earth-based simulation. It's like they're not just building the simulation. They're the ones who coordinate and find the team of people from different galaxies. Like I see that they actually find people from different star systems and galaxies to get together, weave their frequencies and their understanding together, and that team actually gets together to build this simulation. Because in order to build the simulation, you would need some people that are also currently connected to very dark. I don't know how to say this in a way that makes sense to me, but you would need people that also understand darkness and states of non-love. And it's almost like you would have to master love to understand non-love. I don't know, it's hard to...
Yeah, okay.
But they contract people from darker planets to help with the simulation also, because you need the balance of dark and light for these simulations to work. So I see that the team is made up of not just benevolent beings, what we would call benevolent beings, but we would also choose high dimensional beings that are non-benevolent.
Wow, okay.
And they're also part of the Earth matrix.
So when a soul, the souls on Earth right now, some of them they all have different agendas.
Yeah.
The ones that go to the Pleiades for the ascension, they get a certain frequency and then they come to Earth. So technically, the Pleiadians are not then future versions of humans, or are they?
Versions. I don't see them as being future versions. I see them as being prior.
Some people that seem to come from the Pleiades have like a little crown around their pupil.
Because they've mastered their soul journeys, and they've now become volunteers. Galactic role now to help.
What are they doing?
So I'm seeing like Jesus is an excellent example, and other avatars we've had have also come from the Pleiades, but are no longer bound to the Pleiades. They've become these cosmic volunteers, these intergalactic beings that have such a profound understanding of consciousness. So, for example, Yeshua and actually Mary Magdalene, they went to the Pleiades to master and to clear. So the Pleiades helps you to clear anything that would get in the way of fully embracing oneness. So anything that would get in the way of understanding that we are only one being, we are one consciousness. Pleiades is that mastery. So then you go to Earth and then you realize, oh my God, oneness means that I now have to understand and embrace every dark state of being as well. So then after you leave Earth, you can now become like an intergalactic ambassador, because it's like you've ascended. You are like an ascended master after you leave Earth. So Earth actually makes you one of the highest frequency volunteers that you can be in our universe.
Where do souls usually go after?
So after Earth, what I'm seeing is that they rejoin headquarters on Lyra. And from Lyra, they send you to do works all over the universe. Like there's this headquarter on Lyra that send people from Earth-based planets to volunteer in doing many different kinds of tasks. Like they aren't always sent to planets or star systems either. They volunteer in different capacities.
Tell me about this headquarters on Lyra. What is it like? What happens there?
Yeah, okay. So there is a very advanced headquarter on Lyra that does all kinds of things. One of the things they do is they actually do help assemble a group of beings that deal with the Earth-based planets and simulations. And they also create humanoids for Earth. So they actually do create human beings in a kind of lab there.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fascinating because this headquarters on Lyra, I see, avian type beings and cat-like beings, but I see that these are beings that are very hybrid oriented. They have like DNA from so many star systems. So they work on this headquarters on Lyra. What I see about these headquarters, it's like a high frequency, and it's a white light frequency. And they're connected to like a white light very close to source. But it's like this place on Lyra. Not everyone on Lyra have access. You have to be of this white light frequency. Weirdly enough, I'm seeing that you and I are part of this white light frequency, and that we have been in the headquarters of Lyra.
What do you see us doing?
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I see that there's a laboratory, and I don't know if that's my role or your role, but I see that we are playing with genetics. We're looking at genetics under this microscope, and we're trying to find the perfect DNA strand combination to create humans that would evolve from a duality conscious to unity conscious. It's like we created the 9-strand and we created the 12-strand. And we even created a 3-strand and a 6-strand. So we created different iterations of humans that would evolve the way that they have evolved on this earth, from a low consciousness being. And we were involved in this 12-strand human being that are going to be here on earth now. After this, I'm seeing like after this century, we are going to see mostly 12-stranded human beings on earth.
What will that look like?
Okay, that is a very good question. It's so tricky to even say because it won't look like, the pure love of the Pleiades or like the high consciousness on Andromeda. It's Earth is very unique because we've been through such darkness and suffering, and we remember that, and we aren't afraid, and we don't reject it. We honor it. Actually, we honor all of consciousness, and we honor all states, including the darkest states. That's what's special about people that have gone through Earth. Because what I see about these 12-stranded beings is that they have a wisdom that is so profound. So I see that these beings are very connected to Earth, like the Earth herself, Gaia. We are actually going to have many centers set up all over the Earth. Like I see like these new Earth communities set up all over. And people live in these new Earth communities. And the new Earth community is like basically heaven on earth. It's like everything we've always wanted. It's like we have so much power because we can manifest instantly. So we spend most of our days creating different simulations, actually.
What do you mean by that?
So it's like we call it fun. We spend most of our days literally in play. And a part of that play is creating these simulations that we are going to use here on Earth. And the simulations have different purposes. So some of the simulations that we create are for the humans that still are carrying trauma. that need to make it into the unity consciousness. So we have these healing simulations that help whomever is still holding any trauma whatsoever from the old earth. We create these simulations to help them seamlessly transition into the 12-strand activated DNA.
That look like?
Like the 12-strand?
No, what would these simulations look like?
Okay. Oh my God, that's a good question. It's like I wouldn't understand yet because I'm not at that level of consciousness, but I'm actually seeing, like, you know how we have movies and cinema, and how actually a lot of our movies are actually designed by extraterrestrial beings to help us in this ascension. Like we have so it's like they're going to be like movies, but they're more interactive because they are fully, it's like you enter the movie yourself in these simulations. And they're not all love and light. The simulations help to show that the darkness always had a purpose. So it's like they go into those older timelines and then they see that there was the hand of those higher order angels there all along. It's like actually create simulations for these people that are similar to the simulations you would get as a soul leaving the body, re-entering Earth. It's like there's simulations in place now where souls that leave Earth, they do a life review, but it's really like a simulation. And you every memory and every scene that you have to go back to clear the idea that there was no love, that there was darkness. It's like you go back and you see that war wasn't actually war. It was actually like, I don't know, it's like weaving the geometry of dark and light. See, like it's like a net. And sometimes you have to weave a dark scene in order to balance light for the greater whole. So it's like I'm seeing that at that stage, we are all so connected, like a fabric of like a net, that we need to clear the consciousness of every being because we are like a field consciousness, like group consciousness. So the simulations are so hard for us to understand at this stage because at that point, the simulations are like when one person watches it, the whole field gets up-leveled. It's like group consciousness.
Throughout history, it looks like we get into this state where there's like a big destruction and it's like a cycle over and over again. What is it? And is this happening now? Like what, I guess I have a lot of questions around that.
Yes.
Why did we keep having these destructions? And is this happening now? What is happening now?
So we had to have the previous destructions because the destruction, the reset, was necessary for the chemistry of the whole. It was necessary to flood the mainframe with more light. So we needed these destructions in the past. It's like we're playing with memory. It is connected to frequency, like the human consciousness, and that is connected to the Earth's grid. So all of the resets that we've had to date was to clear memory and to implant new ones to almost play with the light levels on Earth's grid.
Interesting.
We will not have a fifth reset in the same way. So we've had 4 resets in a sense so far. 4 destructions of Earth.
Wait, can you tell me about that really quick?
Yeah. Okay, let me see. I mean, I'm seeing like the first one was a destruction of there was like this full paradise on Earth, like Avalon, like full paradise in the beginning, where we were like white frequency. Everyone was creating things that they wanted, but that had to be destroyed. That was the first destruction. We don't remember. That was it's not even in our records. And then there was a second destruction after that, but that wasn't Atlantis yet. The third destruction was Atlantis. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure I think the most recent one was Atlantis, actually.
But it looks like there were 4, and then we won't have a 5th?
And then we won't have a full destruction. So previously, there was like floods or like the destruction that went all over the world, the Earth, and most people were wiped. But this time, we are literally co-creating right now how this 5th ending is going to go. Okay. So right Now, it can either be like a deeper ending or just more of a transition and transformation. And what I'm seeing is we are in the trajectory of co-creating a transition and a transformation. There will be some destruction in this fifth time, but I'm seeing that destruction will be more minimal and most people will just transition through transforming their consciousness.
Exactly. Do you have to transform your consciousness to transition? What does it look like you really need to do to transition?
Okay, so to transition into this new frequency that is actually like anchoring now in the next couple years is the new frequency will be fully anchored. And what it looks like to transition is that you have to let go of fear. All fear has to be released. So it's like any beliefs that are attached to fear. So like a belief that you could be harmed, a belief that you could be victimized, belief that something can be taken from you, a belief that any kind of belief attached to fear and to this idea that you could be a victim, that people could take things from you or people could give you things even, that all has to be cleared and people have to understand that they are the creator of their experience and them alone.
Then people wouldn't they just blame themselves? Because simulation, it looks like you could get sick. And then if you blame yourself, then, I mean.
Exactly what's going to happen. So this is what's going to happen, the unfolding. The unfolding is that there will be a point at which a lot of people begin to realize their power. Like whether this is happening consciously or subconsciously in their dreams, there will be a point where many, many people realize their full power. And that will catalyze a period of cleansing. And that cleansing will mean that they will look at themselves and for a time they will feel deep pain and guilt, realizing that they were the ones doing it all along.
We do it all along. Like, how are we doing it? Like, I'm just speaking for myself. Like, if I want to manifest something, it seems like it takes forever.
Right.
And I'll manifest things I don't want pretty quickly.
Yeah.
How do you take more control over it? Like, how do you feel better in control? Because, I mean, people do worry, like, people they love will be taken from them. How do you really have more control over your life?
So really what it is that it's not necessarily control, but what it is that we realize that we are so powerful that we can tune into any timeline and manifest it. And all timelines exist already. Everything has already been created. So our power lies in choosing what we want. And we can choose a timeline where our children get taken, for example, or we can choose one where they don't. What we are starting to come to now is the realization that what we are choosing from here on out is no longer suffering. We don't have to choose suffering anymore. We don't have to experience it anymore because we don't need it as part of our evolution anymore.
Okay.
And give ourselves very quickly realizing we had to choose certain things before.
People that still feel they are suffering, how do they get out of?
Yeah, okay. So this is where it gets tricky. So the curriculum gets really tricky over the next decade because there are some really hard truths, simple truths, universal truths that we've always known that people are going to realize that they have to get on board or things are going to get very chaotic for them.
Truths.
So basically the truths are the same truths that Thoth gave us all these truths already. The Hermetic principles. We already have had them. Jesus gave them to us again in the Gospels. He said, you can do my works and more. You can create whatever you want. You can heal. And the truths are basically resonance. So it's like the Hermetic principles. I forget now, there's 7 of them.
Okay.
And it's as above, so below. Like attracts like. It's these principles.
Okay.
And those truths have always been true. But now the veil will not support anything that does not echo that truth.
Hey.
We could delude ourselves, but we can't anymore.
Essentially, it's super important then to put yourself in a high vibration state. It's not a luxury to feel.
It's critical. It's not a luxury anymore. It's a basic need. Okay, so this is how it's going to go. The way that people are going to realize how important this is, which means that they have to clear any low vibration from their body and their mind. So any kind of modality, anyone who is teaching clearing is going to be of utmost importance in the next decade to come, in the next 5 years to come. Because people are going to realize that whereas before we thought that, going to work every day was of utmost importance because you have to earn money to make your bills. Now, in the next 5 years, believe it or not, the human culture will begin to realize that even more important than going to work and doing anything else at all, even more important than eating, is keeping your energy high at all times. It's the most important thing we can do. It's beyond hygiene.
Okay, well, what about people in pain? Pain really seems to like level a person. And then once they're in pain, they don't know how to get themselves feeling good.
So that's something that I'm learning from Chad, because Chad is doing these manifestation techniques. So people in pain. So there are people who have physical pain. And even though someone has physical pain, they can still use their imagination and their mind. And actually, there are certain techniques that are being taught now, and they have always been taught. Yoga, Kundalini yoga, breath work, imagination techniques, where even if you have physical pain, you can still summon a higher frequency and anchor it within your heart. And it will still have dominion over the physical pain. So there will be techniques like even in hypnotherapy and in the world of in our modality, there will be techniques that come out that deal specifically with how to manage the physical pain of it, where you can actually numb yourself to that physical pain. So there are techniques like creative ways where you can temporarily numb that physical pain while you were doing your manifestation and raising frequency.
Can you just tell yourself every day, I am frequencies high? Can you just
That's exactly it. So if you are really good at manifesting techniques, and if you really have full belief that thoughts become reality, then you will know that physical pain does not have to exist, because you just have to tell yourself with 100% conviction, I am feeling this way right now, and that pain would not be there. That's all you would have to do. That's how illusory pain is. Yeah, right now we believe in pain. We believe in it so much, but it's only because we believe it.
Hey. Wow, but it feels so real in our reality. I mean, it's showing up a lot for people, but we just have to really train ourselves.
We have to train ourselves, and actually that's going to become more and more popular and necessary. Like actual boot camps that train people to create and to establish a baseline of high frequency. Yes, go ahead.
How do you establish a baseline of high frequency? Could you make it super simple for yourself?
All you would need to do to establish a baseline of high frequency is decide at this moment, I feel bliss, and I only think of bliss.
I'm going to just do that. Simple.
Literally all you need to do. So it's like you are now saying, I am the programmer of my simulation. I am the only programmer of my simulation. And I choose to now press this button that feels only bliss, and this button of thought that only thinks it. And that's how easily and rapidly you can maintain a high frequency.
Passing our negative emotions. I mean, if we feel a negative emotion.
No, not bypassing. Because really what you're doing is you're saying, I release any beliefs that tie me to those timelines that have told me that I need to experience suffering at all. We're coming into a reality where we realize creation is everything. Creation is evolution. Creation is mastery. Creation is timeline. Therefore, there is no such thing as bypassing. The only thing that matters is your power to choose. And you have the right and you have the power to choose to be healed and to choose to be in bliss and to let go of the older timelines of suffering. But people will need support. So people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, people like you and people like Dolores Cannon, anyone teaching clearing techniques will be of utmost importance, because there are ways to clear those old beliefs through breath work and through Kundalini.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for this. This is very helpful. I have a question. On Mars and on Jupiter, it seemed like they found used robotic beings and different symbols in a frame. But they also found a picture of what looked like a Tibetan group.
Wow.
What was that? What do you see?
Okay. Okay, let me tune into that. Okay, so this Tibetan group that they found in a picture is the same group that we have here on Earth in our Hamlet. The same Shambhala.
Wow. Okay, it's the same group?
Yes, Andromedan. I mean, it was sourced from Andromeda.
Okay.
Shambhala frequency, but it was created in Lyra. I don't know, but it's a group of Shambhala warriors. Okay, so these beings, these Buddhists, these Himalayans, are a group of Shambhala warriors that volunteer to come to planets and solar systems and star systems to anchor a frequency of peace that is it's a frequency that is closest to this white light. It's like they hold it in their consciousness and they anchor it into the grid of a planet or star system. That's what these Shambhala warriors do. They stay on a planet until the grid stabilizes to the Ascension frequency.
That's so interesting. Okay, so what were those robotic beings?
Yeah, so how did they connect to that robotic being?
They look like they weren't in use. They were just
So can you describe that picture again that you mentioned earlier?
yeah, it looked like a picture of a human in a frame, and there were also symbols in frames.
Yeah.
And it matched. It was the same being in Jupiter, on Mars, apparently.
It was the same being, so not multiple beings.
I don't think so. I mean, it looked like the same type of technology,
I see.
if this is true.
Yeah, so what I am seeing is that the Shambhala frequency was anchored on Mars at one point. Okay, let me tune in to this for a second because I'm not seeing anything that clear. So the robotics, let me look at the robotics.
Because it might not be true.
Because, what I'm seeing is that Mars is very connected to Earth's history, Earth's future, in some sense. The thing is that Mars has a group of people, humans, that there will be a group of people from Earth that go to Mars after this, that will not go through the Ascension. They will not remain on Earth, and they were never meant to, but they're going to go back to Mars to repopulate a colony there.
Okay.
And what I see is that these people were from Mars originally, and that Mars had a time of peace at one point, but there was wars, and there was some kind of technological destruction that led to only robotics now taking over. But what I'm seeing is that there was a destruction on Mars that actually led to a very big destruction, where robotics took over and humans had to go underground. But those group of humans are still there on Mars, and they're waiting for a group of humans here to join them again. And eventually that group will reestablish peace on Mars.
What about
Elon Musk is highly involved. He is literally the group. He was sent from that original colony on Mars.
is he aware of his role, or is he not?
He is aware. I mean, he is human, and so he has had amnesia, but I'm seeing that he has a memory implanted into him that would not allow him to forget his mission. So he may not remember all of these details like this, but he has the program in him that will not allow him to fail his mission. So he will create a pathway back to Mars for humans on Earth. And those humans will help the colony there to reestablish Shambhala, the rainbow frequency.
Okay. And can you tell me more about how okay, so the pathway of the soul, can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so the pathway of the soul, pathway of ascension, and Shambhala are all kind of the same thing. Ascension is the human pathway, but not all souls choose that pathway. I'm seeing that eventually, in order to return to source and merge back with source, you would have to actually go through an Earth-based planet. So in a way, ascension is for everyone.
Oh.
And ascension is the most evolved step, one of the most evolved steps. There are multiverses. There are other pathways that my mind could not grasp. and would not be able to tell you. Now, what I'm seeing is for our universe, the ascension pathway is like the highest timeline that a human could go through. One of the highest timelines. It is like a kind of love frequency. It's a geometry that you could not. It's like a geometry that includes the full spectrum. It's like so full. It's so whole. And it's so close to, and therefore it is like source, basically.
It's so interesting. Why do different extraterrestrial people's memories, some people say that different races, like the extraterrestrials, like some people remember like a certain type of extraterrestrial in Asia that resembles Asian people. Why is this? And is this?
Yeah, okay, so basically, why did different alien beings source different humans on Earth? Which is correct, because there were different aliens that led to the different lineages of humans on Earth. Okay, and I'm actually seeing that it's connected to the 5 different destruction. Yeah, it's connected to the iterations of Earth that there have been. We've had 4 resets so far.
What do you mean they're connected? What do you mean?
So it's like I'm seeing that the first human beings here on Earth, the first beings on Earth, they were like the highest frequency beings and Earth has had in its history. And those beings were actually connected. Again, what I'm seeing for some reason is that they were connected to Andromeda. And is there another one? The first highest frequency beings were connected to Andromeda and Lyra.
Okay.
They were like really white light creator beings. And some of those beings are still, so there are still beings from every iteration that have remained here. So some of those beings are still here from that first iteration of Earth, those Lyrans and Andromedans. And I'm seeing that, for example, Ilana was here from that time. She is Lyran in her lineage and Shambhala. So from time, there are still human beings on Earth that are here, and a lot of them are connected to the Asian lineage. So I'm seeing like Nepal, India, China, they are connected to Andromeda Lyra.
Okay. So, okay, what about the other races? Who are they connected to?
Now I'm seeing, like, for example, there is a different alien race that populated the European Caucasian lineage, and even within them there's like 2 different lineages. So I'm like seeing like the Vikings, the Norse, and okay, wait, it's complicated. They're sourced from a different lineage of, okay, so wait, let me just tune in. Like, there's more Pleiadian in them, more Pleiades in the Caucasian lineage somehow. In that one, in the Norse, more Pleiadian. And I don't know why exactly that is. But wait, let me see first. And then, because I really want to see this myself, I want to know what the indigenous, like the Hopi, the indigenous, which aliens were assisting them? Okay, so what I'm seeing is actually like these indigenous beings, some of these tribes that carry the ancient wisdom, and they carry the wisdom of the new earth as well. They're actually very earth-based, so Gaia beings with some hybrid alien DNA. So the indigenous people, like the Hopis, they're actually more earth-based, but they're also mixed with some aliens DNA.
They always talk about the 7 sisters, and some stories they talk about like how they came.
They are much more connected to Pleiades as well as Andromeda. See, I'm seeing that there's like a mix. It's not just one. And then I'm seeing what's it called? I forget. I don't know why the word's not coming to me. Not the Andromedans, but the scientific ones.
Andromedan is.
But which one? Arcturians. Oh yeah, there are Arcturians, there are Syrians. The Arcturians I see are very connected to the Western hemisphere. I could see there's still very Caucasian connected Arcturians. I see Russians being connected to them for some reason. Now I see the Japanese have a lineage that are connected to an even different, they're like a hybrid class of like with Greys, the dragon lineage.
And who are those?
The Japanese and some China.
Why do people have different races? Like, what is that?
Yeah, why is that? So what I'm actually seeing is that it is necessary to have a different frequency, these different frequencies of lineage, of wisdom, coming together in order to help with this great change, the ascension that we're coming into, needs to have the support of all these different beings for some reason, of all these volunteers, or else it would not work. And it's something about DNA. It's something about them lending their DNA to Gaia's grid. It's all about like it's like the chemistry of the grid. It's like they are anchoring a different DNA to then share that with Gaia's grid to help her in her ascension now. So it's something about the combined spectrum of DNA that actually leads to a rainbow frequency. That rainbow frequency it's like a splicing of all different kinds.
So when you're here, you're also helping the earth, I guess.
That's exactly right. It's like when I'm here, I'm helping the earth. Anyone carrying that rainbow frequency is literally also helping Earth's grid. That's what we're here for. We're here for her grid.
Can you tell me about this? What is her grid? Like where?
It's like she is literally, so this final grid, we're implementing this final grid for Earth. It's like a complete mutation of her grid. It's like, all I can say, it's like a grid is like a nervous system. It's like we have a nervous system, like an electric wireframe that allows the energy of source to move through us, basically. Well, planets have that also. They have their own nervous system. And what I'm seeing is that Gaia's nervous system is going to be brand new. That's her final phase. Her highest timeline is starting now. It's like we're in the beginning stages of Gaia's new grid. And this new grid that Gaia is having is like she can now be a source for the highest frequency that you could experience.
What will it look like here on Earth? Like, what are we about to step into?
It's going to take some time. It's up to us how long this takes, but eventually Earth will be like this pure white light frequency planet where everyone is a creator god. And we are going to be one of those planets that create simulations for other galaxies. See, that's what happens. When you become a master, you start creating simulations for other consciousness to evolve along. You become a simulation creator. We are coming to that. But in the next stages, if I'm looking at a 100-year timeline, there will be a collapse first. And you could call it like a collapse. But there will be like a couple decades from now that we will see that all the old beliefs will have to get cleared from Earth. So chaotic.
Yeah, but wouldn't chaos create more fear? Like if people lose their money, if things...
Because you know what will happen? Rather than that fear being manifested, and this can sound kind of scary. See, this is where maybe what will happen is that those people will just leave the planet. So we will see mass deaths is kind of what I'm trying to say.
What does it look like will kill them?
So I'm seeing all kinds of things. Whatever their belief system holds true is what will kill them. Viruses, vaccines, murder. So whatever they're holding on to will be the cause of their death. That's what manifesting will look like in the next 10 years. This is why I'm not sure, but it's going to look like Earth is going to be very different in 10 years. Like we're not realizing the extent to how much Earth is going to change over the next 5 years.
Can you explain it?
See, what I'm seeing is that there is going to be a catalyst.
What does it look like? That will look like
3 days of darkness. It might look like a temporary interruption to human affairs. We will realize that things are not just moving along business as usual anymore. Like there will be massive, like a kind of a massive disruption to our regular systems.
So is there I know there's got to be different potentials for this.
There are.
What are the potentials that you're seeing?
Yeah, because I need to be clear that what I'm seeing is only one potential of what we can co-create based on what our frequency is, because we are a manifesting planet. So what I'm saying is not fixed in stone, and nothing anyone will tell you right now is fixed in stone with regard to the timeline, because it's kind of up in the air right now. But what I'm seeing as a potential that I'm tuned into is that there will be a disruption, like some kind of electric grid will shut down for a couple days, for a few days. That will trigger a kind of awakening for some people, okay? And it will trigger a kind of chaos for some. But I'm seeing our systems as a whole won't crumble from that. It's not like our banking will fail and all that. It's the reactions. So it's the reactions that are important. Our system itself won't fail. Banking won't fail, and we can still go to the grocery store and all that. But people will be freaked out. And those people who are freaked out will begin to manifest exactly what their fears are telling them.
Okay, I've heard this prediction before.
And that means that we can't control what the chaos is going to look like. Exactly.
One of the predictions that some people have been seeing, of course, this is probably, and I'm curious about this. So if a person heard someone else say, like something would explode, like in Tampa, per se, or there was an earthquake in California, and these don't have to happen in some other people's realities, or they do, or is that one of the predictions, or is it not?
It's like they don't have to happen for some of the other people's realities. You know why? Because for some people after that event, they will actually be of a much higher frequency where that could not manifest for them. It's so weird. It's like I'm seeing that, yes, there will be collective events. Like we will all see that there's an explosion and an earthquake, but it will feel. See, this is what's hard for me to put into words. Like, for example, in Ilana's reality by that point, it will not feel like any of those are real anymore because her frequency will become much higher over the next couple of years.
Okay. Does it look like there might be an explosion in Tampa or not really?
Okay, let me just tune in to North America over the next 2-3 years. Okay, so this is kind of what I don't like. So when I'm tuning in to North America in the next 5 years, what I'm seeing is several explosions and terrorist kind of activities and rioting. See, I'm seeing chaos is happening because of people's belief systems and that alone. So this is what is very important for me to share right now is that those beings who know what is happening, who know that Earth is going to be like full on manifestation or that it is, are literally using these next few years to have people's belief system manifest onto the collective and for that to be like the warfare, pure warfare, because people's fears are the only things that are fucking it up for all of us. And that's why family members, okay, I'm just going to say this too. Families are very important in the future because if even one member in your family is not clearing or is still hanging on to their fear, it's going to really fuck it up for the rest of the family.
Yes, I'm screwed.
No, that's not necessarily true. You're not screwed, but you will just need to get on board to clear enough. And actually, you'll be surprised that he does not necessarily have as much to clear as you might think. But it's important for him to go to a place. This is what I'm seeing right now. It's important for him to go to a place like Costa Rica, like somewhere in South America, because he needs to be grounded in nature. Mm-hmm. He really needs to be grounded, more grounded. He needs to unplug. He needs to unplug from media devices a little bit, and he needs to plug into Mother Earth a little bit more.
Why do you have to have your whole family get on board? I mean, that's so hard for most of us.
Yeah, it is kind of hard. And it's not that they have to get fully on board. It's just that they need to believe enough. And then the rest of the transformation will happen. Because what will happen is your frequency will raise, and that will help Juan and the rest of your family. Because your frequency is so high. You see, because what we're coming into in the next few years, okay, starting in 2027, the one thing that I am seeing is that we are going to be group consciousness rather than individual. So groups of 3 to 5 family groups and groups of all kinds are going to be of utmost importance because whatever group you're connected to is going to be your baseline frequency. And that's okay because we don't understand field dynamics yet, and we don't understand group consciousness yet. But what I'm seeing is that if one person in the group has an understanding and a high frequency, then it can be shared into the collective frequency of the group.
So like if, say, one person in a family has a high frequency, could they share it in their group and then their group wouldn't affect them?
Well, you know why? It's not like you're sharing, but what's happening is this. You, for example, holding the highest frequency of your group will, and you can do this more consciously, and you need to do this more consciously. You need to tune in to the highest versions of your family members.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Are then creating that. In one sense, you are pulling that timeline toward yourself. So you need to pull the timeline of the highest version.
I was told to do this long ago. Okay.
It's important to do that now. And this message is being shared with you now because we are coming so close to the veil thinning that much, where it will matter.
Why will this trigger like the ascension, this destruction, the 3 days of darkness? What about it triggers this?
You know what it is? It's okay. That's a good question, and it's not as straightforward. Like there's something actually energetic about this. There's something that we're actually doing in the mainframe of Gaia that will necessitate turning off the light grid, humans' light grid for a while. There's different reasons for it. It's connected to Gaia's grid, and it's also connected to our collective consciousness. We have to trigger. It's called like what do you call it? Like a saturation point. We are actually the ones triggering. It's like a point of no return. We are triggering a fork in the road point. How do you call it? A saturation point where the timeline will have to then change after that event. You see?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a turning point event that then saturates the energy to force it into one trajectory. And I do see an event like that will come in the next 3 to 5 years. That timeline might change, just to let you know.
So what could we do to, like, what do you suggest from what you see, all these things you see?
Okay, this is the one most important thing that I see, because this event kind of triggers the turning point of our veil, right? Manifestation is really, it starts to become very instantaneous. And that's why what is important to share now is we need to clear. We need to clear ideas around fear, but it's more important than anything else is we just need to clear our attachment, our habit to negative thoughts and feelings. And that's all it is. We have developed an addiction and a habit. That's all our reality is. It's a habit to thinking negative thoughts and to feeling negative emotions. And we've been in this habit, this loop for thousands of years. And now we cannot remain in that loop because we have no more buffer. We have no more buffer to protect us from our own manifestations.
Okay.
Into that. We have to constantly control, if you want to use that word, but it's really like we have to master what you are choosing to feel and think at every moment.
Okay. This is very helpful. Thank you. Do you see anything else that's important about this?
I see that that's the most important thing, because that's literally what the warfare is, or what the chaos is. It's people's thoughts and emotions being manifested into the public sphere. It's so fascinating to me as well. But it's really interesting because one thing that I am seeing that I'm excited about is that this will go very dark for some people because they're manifesting shit. This will go very light for some people. There will be a kind of mass awakening, because any person who's at that stage of their journey where they're already kind of glimpsing this, where they already kind of know the Hermetic principles and they kind of already been doing some manifesting techniques, they're going to be so freaking stoked by the power of their thought that they will manifest heaven on earth.
I love it. Oh my God, I love that. What about the 3-eye atlas and all these comets coming in? Does this play a role in any of this or no?
It does. It's basically, these are already the major crumbs that we are seeing now. So these comets coming from different star systems are triggers. They are literally here to trigger the frequency into place for Earth. It's like they are here to anchor this new frequency onto the grid of Gaia. So we are seeing this comet coming, for example, next year. That's already a sign for us to know that basically what we are going to see in 2027 is like basically a new reality on Earth in some ways, in many ways, in many ways. 2028, we're already going to see it very clearly.
How do these comets help to anchor? Like, how do they trigger? What exactly, can you look into their mechanisms? Like, how do they do that?
So it's like they are literally devices that have been designed. Let me look. If I tune in to 3i Atlas. Okay. Yeah, so this is actually really cool because so what I'm seeing is that this ascension, this shift in consciousness that Gaia is going through now is not just an Earth-based event. It is a universal event. It is going to affect every galaxy, every solar system in our universe. It's a galactic event, and therefore many planets and star systems are going to experience a shift. 3i Atlas is actually a device that is traveling through different solar systems to trigger. It's like a cascade. I can see it like a ripple. It's a ripple effect. And this device has been created by highly evolved beings, almost like a remote control, to press the button in that solar system and that solar system and that solar system so that it's all aligned. Like I'm seeing like a geometry that connects all these different solar systems that upgrades all of us at the same time is happening.
Who designed it?
Okay, let me tune in and see. Because it's like literally 3i Atlas is like a frequency device. And it's triggering our DNA as well as Earth's. So humans and Earth. It's triggering a higher octave in our DNA. And I'm seeing, okay, again, the group that created this device, like it's a combination, again, of Andromedan, Lyran, and people and beings that are not from our universe. I'm even seeing that like very highly advanced beings create comets like this, like highly advanced star systems. It's like not even just a being, it's like a group that, I don't know.
No, that makes total sense. And then, okay, so is there a way to work with it if it comes in?
Well, yeah, I got goosebumps as you asked that. Okay, let me tune in and ask. Let me see. Because, yeah, 3i Atlas is really instrumental to triggering our memory and our DNA. And what I'm seeing is that it will help us to remember why we came here, why we chose to volunteer here, what we are doing on Earth, and what our soul is going to, it's triggering our remembering. It will give us so much clarity. So if those of us who are already on a spiritual path have had any doubts or confusion, this comet will help us so much because it will literally help us to have the clarity with regard to our memories of why we came here. So 3i Atlas is really for those of us who are a little bit more advanced in our spiritual journey to remember what our purpose was, our mission.
Is there anything we should do to work with it? Or like, does it matter? Do we have to connect with it for this to happen? Or is just it passing by enough?
Well, I'm seeing that yes, it is useful to work with it and to help your own remembrance right now before it even comes is the best thing you could do, which means doing sessions like this are really good to help people remember their soul's purpose. I'm even seeing, it's good to do plant medicines now, medicines that help you remember your soul, your heart, and why you came. Anything that will help you to stay in the remembering and to clear any doubt and confusion about your soul and why it came. And then it's really important, I see as well, to really master your thoughts and your emotions before 3i Atlas comes. Because when 3i Atlas comes, it's another frequency trigger again, so that after its rotation along our orbit, Earth's grid will become more activated, which means that our energy will become more activated, which just means that we are manifesting even more quickly after that.
So a lot of people see it coming closest December 19th.
So that's probably why you're going to notice more quicker and faster manifestations leading up the solstice. And actually it's more so after the comets, we will start to see really, really quick manifestation happening. Like, it will be so obvious that your thoughts are very important, but not just your thoughts, it's your emotions too. It's the thought and emotion together. It's like if you were thinking something and you were like, oh my God, that sucks. That's going to happen to me. And I'm so scared. So if you're like ruminating on something or worrying about something, it'll just come. But at the same time, if you're thinking about something positive, like you're like, oh my God, that's so amazing. This is going to be so great. It's just going to come. It's just happening. It's going to happen both ways. So we're going to see more polarity after Three Eye Atlas for a while until the 3 days of darkness.
Okay. Wow. All right. Interesting. Wow. So interesting. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're so welcome.
You do a body scan on Yolanda?
Yeah. So we